Long, long ago, when the world was young and great cities were just beginning to rise from the earth, there was a queen named Inanna. She ruled the magnificent city of Uruk, a place of high walls, bustling markets, and clever artisans. Inanna was not just a queen who wore a crown. She was a leader who fought with her soldiers, made laws with her council, and always put her people first. But a queen, no matter how powerful, cannot eat gold. A terrible drought had come to the land. The sun beat down mercilessly. The rivers shrank, and Uruk's storehouses, once overflowing, were becoming dangerously empty. Inanna knew she had to find a solution, or her city would starve. To the north, beyond the city's farmlands, lay the vast, rolling plains. This was the domain of Dumuzi. He was a shepherd, but he was so much more. The herdsmen from all the tribes looked to him as their king. Dumuzi didn't rule from a throne, he led by example. He had a deep, natural understanding of the land. He could predict the weather by the smell of the wind, find water in the driest ground, and his touch seemed to heal ailing animals. Under his care, the plains were still green, and his people, while not rich in gold, were rich in food and loyalty. News of this shepherd king reached Inanna. Desperate, she decided to meet him herself. She journeyed from her stone palace to his open grasslands. She arrived with her royal guards, expecting to meet a simple tribesman. Instead, she found a man whose confidence was as solid as the earth itself. He stood tall, looked her directly in the eye, and did not bow. He was not impressed by her crown, he was interested in her character. Their first meeting was a tense negotiation. "My city is strong, but we are hungry," Inanna stated. "Your people have food, but you lack the safety of our walls and the goods from our markets." Dumuzi crossed his arms. "The land provides what it can, Queen Inanna. It cannot be rushed or commanded. It requires patience and respect. What can your city offer that my people truly need?" They debated for hours. She spoke of armies, treaties, and wealth. He spoke of rain, soil, and the cycles of life. They were two different worlds facing each other, but beneath the arguing, a spark flickered. Inanna saw a man who was genuine and wise. Dumuzi saw a woman who was fierce and dedicated. A deal was struck. Uruk would provide protection and trade goods, and the plains would provide food. But the real deal was happening in their hearts. Slowly, respect grew into a deep, powerful love. Their wedding was the celebration of the age. It wasn't just a marriage of two people. It was the marriage of the city and the plains. For years, their union brought a golden age. Uruk's strength combined with the plains' bounty created a kingdom of unbelievable prosperity. It seemed they had created a perfect world. However, a shadow was watching. In a rival city-state lived a lord named Lugal. He was a man of greed and ambition, who believed power was meant to be taken. He had wanted to form an alliance with Uruk himself, and he saw Dumuzi as an unworthy outsider who had stolen his opportunity. Lugal's jealousy festered in the dark, and he began to weave a web of lies. He sent his most cunning spies into Uruk. They whispered in the streets and in the palace halls. "Have you heard? Dumuzi keeps the best grain for his own herdsmen. He doesn't care if the city starves. His loyalty is to the plains, not to Uruk." The same spies went to the plains and whispered among the herdsmen. "Queen Inanna plans to raise heavy taxes on your flocks. She wants to take your wealth to build even bigger palaces. She sees you as servants, not partners." At first, Inanna and Dumuzi brushed off the rumors. But lies, when repeated often enough, start to sound like truth. Inanna, burdened by the weight of ruling, began to watch Dumuzi more closely. Did he seem more concerned with reports from the plains than from the city? Dumuzi, feeling her coldness, started to spend more time away, feeling unappreciated. The trust that was the foundation of their love was cracking. Lugal chose his moment perfectly, the great harvest festival. The city was celebrating its bounty, a bounty made possible by Dumuzi. As people laughed and danced, Lugal's agents, dressed as Dumuzi's shepherds, launched a surprise attack on the main grain storage, setting it on fire and causing chaos. In the middle of the panic, Lugal himself approached Inanna, holding up clay tablets. "My queen," he shouted, feigning distress. "I have proof. These messages show Dumuzi planned this. He means to destroy Uruk's food supply and take your throne." It was the final, devastating blow. Surrounded by fire, chaos, and what seemed like undeniable evidence, Inanna's heart shattered. Her love was replaced by a queen's fury. She found Dumuzi in the crowd, her eyes blazing with betrayal. "You," she screamed, her voice cutting through the noise. "You did this! You are a traitor to me and to Uruk! Guards, seize him!" The look on Dumuzi's face was one of utter horror and heartbreak. He couldn't believe what was happening. "Inanna, no!" he cried out, but her guards were already moving. A violent fight erupted as Dumuzi's loyal bodyguards tried to protect him. In the confusion, Dumuzi was forced to flee into the dark night, a fugitive hunted by his own wife's soldiers. What followed was a long and desperate chase. Dumuzi used all his knowledge of the wild to survive. He hid in caves, slept in trees, and crossed dangerous rivers, always one step ahead of his pursuers. But as he ran, the kingdom suffered. Without his guidance, the land began to die. The fields turned brown, the herds became sick, and the rivers dried up. The golden age was crumbling into dust and hunger. Back in her quiet palace, Inanna sat on her throne, surrounded by silence. The city was starving and the streets were empty. The victory she thought she had won felt like a terrible defeat. The emptiness of her kingdom mirrored the emptiness in her heart. With a clear mind, she ordered a true investigation. Her most trusted captain soon uncovered the truth. The messages were forgeries, the attackers were Lugal's men in disguise. She had been tricked. She had betrayed the man she loved and destroyed their kingdom because of a lie. A new fire ignited within her, not of anger but of determination. She would not send an army, she would lead it. She put on her armor, gathered her most loyal warriors, and rode out to save her king. They tracked Dumuzi to a barren canyon where Lugal's men had finally cornered him. A fierce battle erupted. Inanna fought like a woman possessed, her every sword stroke fueled by regret and a desperate love. She battled her way through Lugal's soldiers until she faced the villain himself. Their fight was short and brutal. Lugal, a man of lies, was no match for Inanna's righteous fury. She defeated him, and he would never plot again. She then rushed into the canyon and found Dumuzi, wounded and exhausted, but alive. Their reunion was not a simple embrace. They fell into each other's arms, tears streaming down their faces, a flood of "I'm sorry" and "I forgive you." Their love had been broken, but it was not destroyed. Yet the land was still sick. To heal it, a great sacrifice was needed. Dumuzi's loyal sister, Inanna, came forward with a solution. "The land needs my brother's touch," she said. "For half of each year, he must travel across the entire kingdom, from the farthest mountains to the deepest valleys, to personally heal the soil and the herds. He will teach others his knowledge. For the other half of the year, he will rule here in Uruk with you, bringing the bounty of the whole land to its heart." It was a difficult choice. It meant they would be apart for months at a time, but it was the only way to save their people and restore balance. They agreed. And so a new pattern for life was created, a pattern we still live by today. When Dumuzi is away, traveling and healing the land, the world is quiet and cold. The trees are bare and the fields are asleep. This is our autumn and winter, a time of waiting. But when he returns to Inanna in Uruk, life bursts forth with joy. Flowers bloom, crops grow, and the sun warms the earth. This is our spring and summer, a time of celebration. Their story teaches us that love is not always perfect. It can be hurt by lies and broken by mistakes. But true love is also strong. It is strong enough to say, "I was wrong," to fight for what is right, and to find a way to come back together, season after season. The love of a queen and a shepherd became the very heartbeat of the world.